For me, this year, I was committed to finishing it. I was very determined, so it was not really a question of leaving, but I was just really committed. And there are challenges and there are hard times, and you just have to think about the positive things, or call Team Green and just get away, or go do something you really enjoy and just kind of like regroup and refocus. And then I think those challenges, like, you can face them just with like a more calm attitude. But yeah, just be determined, and you can do it, and know that you can do anything for 10 months.
I really struggled with a lot of self-doubt, a pretty high lack of confidence, worried about my competency throughout the year. But in terms of quitting, it just wasn't an option for me. I was not going to go home this year.
I think I just don't like to quit, period. I mean, there's something about quitting that just, it rubs me the wrong way. So it's a pretty unique experience. I think everyone should try to, hold tight of it and not leave if they can, because you're never going to match it.
What motivated me to persevere was the fact that I gave my word, and I said that I was going to do this. And I was going to give 10 months of service towards others. And not only that, but you've made a commitment to your team, whether you have them in this moment in time or not. Like, by you saying, hi, I'm your team leader, you have then made that commitment to them, saying that you will be there through thick and thin with them, and you're going to be their light that goes through the dark path. I mean, there were plenty of times this year where I didn't know what I was doing, but it would have been a lot easier just to be like, you know what, Allison, I'm struggling and I need to go home. But like, whether your team wants you there or not, you've made that commitment to them. And there will be times this year where your team is really mad at you for a decision that you made, whether it's the right one or not. But like, despite that, they still need you. They need you there to be their sounding board. They need you there for grocery shopping. Like, they need you there. And in all of my experience with AmeriCorps, when the team leader leaves, the team wavers and can never recover from it, just because how much the team depends on us is just, it's unfathomable to get it's almost impossible to gain the trust back. And an STL or a Corps member who gets promoted to a team leader has a really hard time of doing that and building that trust back.
Motivated me was I'm the type of person to finish what I started, and that I would never forgive myself if I had just quit and just backed out.
For me personally, I tried to remember the reasoning behind why I joined AmeriCorps Enlisted in the first place. And it was to grow and challenge myself. Before this program, all I knew was, living in Virginia, never seeing outside Virginia, and I wanted something exciting and new, some type of adventure.
The understanding that everything in life is a growing opportunity, and regardless how hard or how much you struggle, if you remain positive, then you're always going to learn something and grow a little bit, and that kept me growing when I was struggling.
I knew this was something that I wanted, and I made the commitment to do it, so I was going to finish it out to the end. Also, like, mathematically speaking, it's about 0.1% of your life. No, sorry, 1% of your life. So you can do anything for 1% of your life.
The Ed Award. Well, actually, not really, because I don't really need the Ed Award. But I don't consider myself a quitter, and I didn't want to quit like halfway through, because I told myself that I would commit to doing this for the 11 months, and I wanted to show myself that I could do it and not just like wuss out and go back home. And also, I feel like Team Green helped out a lot too, because like if I left, I wondered like, what would Team Green think? And I was like, I didn't want them to I didn't want to let them down, because when team leaders would leave, it would let me down. I didn't want to let them down. So I would persevere for myself, and I would try to like look to and like I know that when the present sucks, I try to look to the future, and I realize that this too shall pass. As in, like the bad situation you're in won't be around forever, but neither will the good situations either. So you just have to make sure that you enjoy the good, but you also take the bad in stride.
What ultimately motivated me was my team. There were definitely some points where I didn't know if I was going to be able to finish the year, but just having that image of my team who had been together since February, being able to walk across the stage together and all stand there with the diplomas was my ultimate motivation. A lot of support from staff, fellow team leaders, people on my team as well, and then also personally I came here for my team, so that was a motivator in and of itself that I had to keep going to help them keep going. Yeah.
Honestly, just the commitment that I made to the program and just kind of the self-commitment that I made to myself. I knew that if I had given up, that I would have been really disappointed in myself. And honestly, what really helped me too was that there were times where I wanted to give up, but then I thought about all the times that I would have missed, all the good times, and thinking about those times really honestly made everything worthwhile.
I don't quit. I have never just been like, this is completely too hard for me, I'm not going to do it, because I made a commitment, you know, to be here for an 11-month period. So I'm not going to leave in the middle of it when there are people that are literally depending on me to be here and do my job. And I also knew that being in this new position that I've never been in before, only seen people in, I knew there were so many skills that I could gain and just new things to learn that I can take into my future, and who doesn't want that, you know, so.
So I signed up to be here for a year, so I wasn't going to back out of that commitment and leave early. And also there's definitely times where it feels like if you give up and quit that your core members win.
I think there's multiple times where I had like a resignation letter filled out and wanted to resign, but knowing that I didn't have a fallback plan, I didn't have a plan B, I didn't have anything to go home to, kind of kept me here, because I knew that I would go home and do nothing for like until I figured something out. But if I stayed here, I was more use and I could actually help people and serve people, whereas at home I wouldn't necessarily get that. So that, knowing that I was better use here, definitely kept me here. My family, they helped push me to finish the program, and just not wanting to quit. Like I felt like giving up and actually going home was giving up on myself. And the feeling that you get when you make it to graduation and you look back at the challenges and like being like, I had 2 resignation letters filled out and I almost quit, but I made it to graduation. Like that just makes you feel so strong and pretty much makes you feel like you can do anything that comes next.